Ladies and gentlemen, your Mercedes-Benz MVP is Mid-One, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is Things I've Learned with Secret.Midone Storm Spirit. Before I start this video, I would like to ask you guys to watch my ESL Hamburg cast if there's any game you did not watch. I think my mic settings and casting has improved, and I would love any feedback on it. Going back to the video though, I have a game on this exact same matchup, Lina versus Storm. Storm obviously loses, will be forced to jungle, but he has the upper hand against Lina in the mid game thanks to the burst damage and the gap close. I don't want to talk too much about the lane since it's already in the last video, which is pretty recent by the way, but the first thing I want to mention is this double damage that he picks up in the 6-minute mark and how he uses it. First, even though he was jungling until this point, note how he makes sure to go back to the lane, even though Lina is level 6 and he is not. The catapult will do a lot of damage, he needs to be there to draw aggro and defend the tower, and also get the experience catapult gives a lot of it. He pretty much just draws aggro, and after defending, note how he jungles. He could farm faster with the double damage, right? Imagine how many creeps he would be able to farm, even the ancients, since he has the high ground advantage. Yet he does not pop it. Instead, he uses the shrine, and more importantly, note which area of the map he is farming. Not only the camps in the left area of his jungle are more spread out, meaning that he farms lower, these camps here are way safer. As he farms the camps, he has vision of the Lina rotations and the stairs, and he can run away, whereas when he's farming the left side, sometimes he will be in the low ground or he will be too far away from the entrance to know if it's safe or not. It's nighttime, he has no wards in that area, so this is definitely safer and a better decision. Since he saved the double damage, he gets level 6 and look what happens. He spots Lina getting an invis rune and he purposely pushes the tower since he knows the wyvern is close by. He has raindrops and is full HP. They were also probably communicating since the Shaker TPs to the mid lane, and while Lina is 2 levels ahead of Mid-One, since he saved the double damage rune, even being only level 6, he gets the kill and gets out fast enough, so there is no answer. The game doesn't get easier though, he gets ganked after that, and now we will talk about how Mid-One battles with Storm Spirit. Radiant starts diving and Mid-One is about to respawn. First, note that he TPs to the tier 2, he doesn't even have treads yet, so he starts playing safe. If you're not used to this hero, your damage output grows exponentially the better you use your overcharge. That's why I think it's very important that you learn how to use attack move and smart attack move. Playing Storm involves using a lot of commands, pressing a lot of buttons, so if you can attack the heroes you want before you use your Remnant, without actually having to perfectly click the target you want to go for, you will be able to do it easier and get more damage done in fights. You can easily see the passive proccing before the Remnant gets laid out, and this is why he even went for the Glows of Haste instead of the Robe of the Magi, and why people stop going Arcane Boots on Storm. Attack speed really matters in this hero. As the fight unfolds, you can see how aware he is of the other heroes around. Note how he zips as Bane's arms are lifted to dodge the Nightmare not once, but twice. He also never committed the Vortex since Shaman was dead anyways. That rotation does lose his tier 1 mid, but it was a necessary rotation and it gave him much needed golden experience. Again, this game is not easy, and as he runs away, a tree was waiting to boop him in the face and mock him. Note how he buys the 1 though. When you're sure that you will die, sometimes giving up on running away and trying to buy out before you die can help, and he gets a 1, and instead of losing 200 gold, he only loses 40. Mana efficiency is obviously an important factor when playing this hero, so note how Mid-One approaches this tree and kill when his entire team is around and Tree is seemingly alone. He barely spends any mana. Not only gives him safety to go mid and not die, but it allows him to also farm faster. Using your mana wisely is even more important when you are against an Anti Mage, since he can show out of nowhere, just blink, use mana void and get out. Getting the right feel for how much mana you should be spending comes with time, but make sure to constantly think about it and you're probably going to improve. In this game, Anti Mage felt very strong and had no fear of Mid-One, so as you watch this huge fight top, and since the subject right now was mana usage, note how Mid-One does not panic and zips away, losing his precious mana. There's no follow-up here, and the Anti-Mage is not strong enough to solo kill him, so he just walks it off. It doesn't end here though, he suspects the Radiant is coming for him, so look what he does, he gets into the Radiant jungle. You can see that Bane was mid, and as he farms this camp, he leaves the Remnant to get high ground vision, then as he waits for a wave to cut, he scans the choke point, and since it's nighttime, he can stand here with no problem. He cuts the wave as he gets to the high ground to get vision, and while he gets it, Lina finds him. Luckily enough, he dodges the LSC that came slightly too late, and is able to TP while he remnants away from a nightmare. Just a perfect play, and we will see Mid1 dragging the entire Radiant lineup around while surviving and being able to do something. I would say that in 90% of the games, going Kaya first is the best option possible, but in this particular game, U-Scepter is definitely a must. Not only the Tree and Boops are insanely scary, there's also the Lina's U-Scepter he needs to take care of, and also Overgrowth. The way Mid1 was able to create space and get gold at the same time in this game is more than commendable. Look at this play right here, for instance. He wants to get the bottom tower that could be healed by the Treant. As he goes bottom, he sees AM top, and also saw a bunch of Radiant heroes away from that lane, healing his two allies that are dead right now. That allows him to come here, knowing the Treant was not there, and infiltrate in this area, getting full vision while attacking the tower. When Bane TPs, look how he waits as much as possible, and then he zips away from him while attacking the tower, getting the last hit, and then zipping away. So not only he gets a key objective against the Treant, he wastes 3 heroes times, while his CK farms top, and Shaker gets his Blink Dagger. By doing that, he can finish his U-Scepter and watch this amazing fight from Mid1 again. He sees the fight starting, so he TPs as fast as possible, and still lacking some mana. But note how he not only pops Bottle when he reaches the shrine, he also pops another charge mid-zip and still has 3 charges once he reaches the destination. He zipped long, expecting the Bane to run away. The X actually got a call there, and he gets lucky. Lina was there. More important than that, the fact that he zips into the high ground makes sure he scouts those heroes for the team instead of maybe dying since Lina would be there and he had no vision. He barely has enough mana to kill the Lina, showcasing how the bottle usage was clutch and made a difference. And even more clutch than that is the fact that he has his U-Scepter to cancel the TP from the Anti Mage, and Shaker has the Blink Dagger from the space he created. So Mid1 created space, and it clicks perfectly into this fight. Even when you skip Kaya, you will rarely see a Storm skip the item, and that's what Mid1 goes next. Speaking of the item, look at this other beautiful play for Mid1. He has a regen room that he really wants to use in a fight. As Radiant starts fighting top, his Kaya gets delivered, but Lina shows up mid. Lina can be easily solo killed, and he had vision of the entire team top pretty much. He cancels his TP, but watch again how he does it. He breaks the trees before diving and places a remnant to be sure there is no tree in hiding there. Then, when the CK is closer, he can go in. Not only they get the kill, but his U-Scepter makes sure there's no turnaround from the Bane, and they get out. One of the problems this game is that since Mid1's lane was not favorable, he was not able to rush an Orchid to pressure the Anti Mage. A lot of the times, people consider Storm to be weak against Anti Mage, but if you have a good enough laning stage, you can get an Orchid faster than the Anti Mage Manta, and then he's actually pretty afraid of you. In this game, since he had to stop for the U-Scepter, this timing is non-existent, and we can see Mid1 switching from Orchid to Bloodstone this game. This is a pretty cool fight that again showcases perfectly the overload usage. A lot of players like to instantly place a remnant once they gap close on a hero, but look how Mid1 does it. He attacks mid-ball lighting, then he uses W first, attacks, only then he pops the remnant, and after he gets the kill, he chills for a bit. He doesn't have a lot of mana, and if he spends it to close the gap on the Anti-Mage, he can blink away, and he won't be able to keep chasing. Since he waits, he wakes the CK up, they can actually get the kill on the Anti-Mage just perfectly. In this other clip, we see another small decision that Mid1 goes for that really changes the game. He sees the Bane disengaging, but he doesn't zip straight away. He times his jump with Puppy reaching the end of the tree area. By zipping here, he's able to break all the trees, giving vision of the incoming heroes. By the way, the Anti-Mage is coming, whereas zipping into the tree area could put him in a very unfavorable position, since Radiant would have vision of him, and he wouldn't have vision to react. The problem though, is that AM is level 21. He has the extra range on the blink and the cooldown reduction, and even though he zips all of his mana, he still dies. He tries very hard to survive though, keep watching. He threat switches to strength. He also was already waiting for the Anti-Mage to come, so he has time to U-Scepter him instantly, and as he shrines, he already takes his soul booster away from the inventory. He has way less total mana, and since he was already very low HP, he doesn't lose that much HP. Even then, it was not enough, and the Shaker TP just comes slightly too late. Another thing that Mid1 constantly does this game is think carefully about who he initiates. Dire has a sentry here, and when you see a Treant initiate a fight at 30 minutes like this, there has to be extra heroes around. AM is showing, so that's that's good, because it's safer for mid 1 to fight, and once Lina is there, look how mid 1 initiates her. Tree is hard to bring down, doesn't have a lot of damage, so Storm should be going for the Lina every time. Once again, we see the perfect execution with the attack mid-ball lining, Remnant only after using the attack from the Vortex, and even with BKB, Lina cannot escape. Linken's is 100% a necessity this game, while BKB is also an option, since there's a lot of instant cast point spells, or spells that can be cast through the trees that take him down. The Linken's actually has insane value. He cannot die to an Abyssal Blade rotation from the Anti Mage, for instance, but even more important than the Linken's is getting the HP Talent at level 15 and then going Bloodstone. While Bloodstone gives you a lot of mana, it also tanks you up, unlike Orc. So it's not only about not hitting that timing when he could kill the Anti Mage, but Bloodstone is the only other item that gives Storm a good mix of HP and mana besides Aeon Disc, but Bloodstone is a greedier, overall better item in terms of mana regen. Look at this fight, for instance. Linken's is not done yet, and as mid 1 zips, he already predicts Radiant retreating towards the stairs. Since Winter's Curse gets used, we see him getting high ground vision for a bit to be sure there's no one sneaking up. We quickly see the U-Scepter allowing him to dodge the Overgrowth, and since he spent his mana wisely and has so much HP, the Mana Void does not take him down, and they win the fight. AM did get the Aegis though. Thanks to that fight, Dire pushes, mid 1 finishes Linken's, and watch what happens. Lina and Anti Mage are defending mid. Not only AM has Aegis, but he's way harder to bring down, so mid 1 initiates the Lina, like we saw time and time again, showcasing how the matchup versus that hero goes sideways after the laning stage is over. Even without Orchid, that's an easy kill, and watch again how he ignores the Anti Mage. Hard kill, BKB is on, and his Linken's serving as a mid shield allows him to take another hero down. Not only that, he survives through everything that Radiant has thanks to the U-Scepter and disengages. His mana regen is so high that even after the Fiend's Grip, he has enough mana to zip very far away, but the fight does not end. Look how careful mid 1 is. He does not commit, but he also doesn't go back. His insane mana regen definitely allows him to participate in case an opening shows itself. It never happened though, but if you watch this channel constantly, you will see pros doing this frequently. Being able to stay in a fight without dying while also looking for an opening can change games sometimes. It was not needed though, because they won anyways. The way mid 1 constantly kept going in and out of fights is superb. We talked about him not initiating the Treant, but in this fight Overgrowth gets wasted, giving him the chance to poke at that hero. Thanks to the Linken's, he can do that, but quickly gets out since AM was nearby. Once the Shadow Shaman is stunned though, he comes back, not only getting Bloodstone charges, but being able to follow up. That being said, you just saw the Anti Mage and Laguna Blades flying around. Those heroes are nearby and they are way juicier than a support Bane. Look how mid 1 stands close to get the charges, but saves as much mana as possible as he waits for the mana to kick in. The U-Scepter buys time, and that is another charge. Not only that, after he goes to the base, he disassembles his Aquila to use one of the Sage's masks to finish his Orchid. Then, as he taps to the Shrine, he zips a little bit since he can make use of the Fountain Mana regen, meaning that he's already full mana, even though he moved like 2,000, maybe 3,000 units. Once again, note how when the Axe calls mid 1, he never engaged. That AM has a heart. The amount of mana he has to use to kill him is insane, and he could even die thanks to the mana. He engages on the Treant instead, but never commits his Orchid. As his Linken pops, you can already see his ball lighting being used to dodge the cast point of other spells. He was 100% ready, Echo Slam lands, and the game is pretty much over. Guys, thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. I know I've been away, I've been casting quite a bit, so if you're interested in my casting, you check one of the videos out. I think I actually got better, and I would love you guys following my cast on Twitch if you're interested. Twitter is where I talk about stuff, and sometimes I like post memes, and I don't know, I'm there sometimes. Twitter is where I cast and play, so make sure to follow and subscribe if you like what I do. Thanks everyone, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment and just give me as much feedback as you can. Bye!